Hello, everybody. Steve here. Wishing everyone a good day, good week, good month, good year. 2021 is just starting out, and we're already almost past January. So time is flying. And today I want to talk about the ineffective narcissistic church that we see going on all around us today. The ineffective narcissistic church. But before I get into that, I was just hearing the news, listening, reading articles, and I'm not sure why this is. I mean, I have my thoughts, I have my opinions, but everything is so negative in the news. Everything is so unashamedly down and low key and dire. I would think, and I'm sure you would have thought too, that once we got the virus rolling, not the virus, the cure, the vaccine, that's the word I'm trying to look for. The vaccine, once we got the vaccine, start to get that into the population, there would start to be some good news that people would say, oh, okay, well, there is a positive effect maybe from the vaccine, or at least there will be, and we're really looking forward to decrease in the number of people who are contracting the virus, and things look good. All we hear about is that there is a lack of the medicine that they're giving people, the vaccination, how bad the method that they use to deliver the vaccine, how people are waiting in line, how people are still dying from the virus, and we'll have a dark winter ahead of us, and hospitals are overflowing, and just everything bad. And I mean, even heard Dr. Fauci say, well, we don't want people to get lax because there's a new strain, and everything is just bad news. It's just no good news. There's nothing to give us any kind of hope. There's nothing to give us any kind of to look forward to and say, oh, okay, well, maybe by the summertime things will really start to pick up, and maybe we can go back to a normal life again. There's nothing. Maybe it's just me, but I haven't heard anything that would give anybody any kind of hope. But I have been hearing that, oh, we're going to still have to wear masks, and maybe the worst hasn't come yet. All these negative things that we're hearing, and nothing positive, nothing to give anybody any kind of hope. And I think that it is a shortcoming of the news, because people get paid and make money off of the bad things that happen. And by not saying anything good, if everything was good, then there would be no ratings, but they have to find something bad. That's just my opinion. One of the reasons I think that we don't hear anything positive. And so let me just segue into the topic for today, which in some instances, it's pretty much related. And that is not only the downfall, but the ineffectiveness of the narcissistic church in our society. It used to be a time where people knew that if they went to the church, and I'm not just talking about the physical church, I'm not just talking about the building. People knew that if they got in contact with people who knew how to pray, or even if maybe they weren't in a good position in life, yet they still knew how to pray themselves and to seek and search God for themselves, people would do that. But now we're, in a generation where people have no concept of God, no concept of the power of prayer, no concept of where to go to get your life right. And I don't blame people in general for that. However, I do blame the church for that. The church has become so self-centered and so narcissistic and so divided as a body that the church is basically ineffective. Now, years ago, had there been a epidemic, whatever you want to call it, years ago, the church would have banded together so that they could better serve people. And, they wouldn't even be thinking about their own safety or their own health, but they would have been so focused on helping the general population. And that in it of itself would have not only put the church in a good light, but would have caused people to understand that, okay, there's a better way than I've been living, and I need to reconnect with God, or I need to be introduced to God, because these people in the church are demonstrating the love of God, and I want to be a part of that, and I want that to overwhelm me. The love that they're showing me, I want that to overwhelm me, and I want to be a part of that too. However, we don't see that in the world today. We don't see the church being that beacon of light. We see the church being a beacon of light for themselves, for those few mega church pastors, and actually there's probably more than a few, for those self-centered men and women in ministry who think that the church is all about themselves, and it is all about their benefit, and it's all about making them look good. And therefore, if your leader is corrupt in that way, if your leader is narcissistic, if your leader uses the people in his church for his own ends without any thought or without any feelings, without any compassion for the people that are under his care, it's basically just a job or a career path to him or her, and it allows them to be blessed monetarily, to have power, have recognition, all of the things that a narcissist wants. So the church supplies the narcissistic need of the leaders. But when it comes time to play it forward, where a pastor needs to sacrifice himself for his members and needs to go above and beyond the call of duty, then those pastors are not there. What they do, they fall in line with what they are hearing from the government and from media and from, various organizations telling them what they should do, what they can't do. And they just kind of fall along with it because, number one, it keeps them safe. And number one, it absolves them of the responsibility that they have as pastors to care for the people and community. And so, as I've been telling you in other videos, with the epidemic of narcissism that we have going on in our country, that has also affected the church, we can pretty much see this attitude in full display within our local community churches statewide, churches across the nation, where we are so enveloped in our own selves and our own fears and our own doubts that these church leaders will not do the thing to which they were called. You see, because being a pastor, church leader, it is not a piece of cake. It is not a walk in the park. It is a life filled with self-sacrifice, sometimes monetarily, sometimes otherwise. It is a life filled with, and should be filled with, love and concern and caring, compassion, to be able to preach the gospel no matter who says what, to preach the truth, to live the truth, and to be so totally involved in God's work that you don't care where your next meal is coming. You don't care how much you're gonna get paid in a calendar year. And I'm not saying that a pastor should not expect to have his basic needs met by the congregation, and that a laborer is worthy of his hire. I'm not saying that the pastor has to be a vagabond, but no pastor, my friend, needs to have private jets and 4 or 5 cars in their garage and big elaborate edifices, church buildings. Because if you really look at it, that money could be going towards a ministry to help others in the church, in the community, and to carry on the mission that God has given all of us, not just pastors and leaders, the mission that he's given all of us to spread the gospel, show love, compassion, and to go out there and be an example of light in this crazy, crazy world. So all during, the last year, there have been a few churches who have stood up, answered the call, but I would say 95% of our churches, unfortunately, have not answered the call and have only found new ways to get their narcissistic supply from the members. They found new ways to kind of stay out in the forefront of people's minds, and they found new ways to collect money. They found new ways to enrich themselves at the expense of the members. And because we live in a narcissistic society, nobody really knows what's going on. And we ourselves, as the general population, are so narcissistic that we can't really see clearly what our leaders are involved in, because we have those same narcissistic tendencies, and we use and abuse other people within whom we have our own influence. So it's not a pretty picture of what's going on in our culture today. It's not a pretty picture of all the hate that we are seeing. It's not a pretty picture that even the church has become so worldly, has become so, most churches are so uninhabitable that nobody sees the light coming from these churches or from its people. And I can't blame them for not wanting to be a part of the church and for looking to other things for their supposed comfort and growth. Things that are not really, cannot really be said to be good, wholesome things that will help you through this hard time. So that's my message for today. Maybe I'll break it down a little bit more. If anybody feels like they want to leave a comment in the comments field and wants me to go further, feel free to do so. I'll do that gladly. I'll get a little more in depth if that's what you guys want. If not, I'll just speak on the next topic the next time that I'm here. So if you like the channel, please do subscribe. Please click the like button. That's definitely going to help us. And one thing, man, we got 100 subscribers last week. So I'm pretty psyched about that. And there's been a slow growth to the channel, but that's fine. It's been pretty generic growth. I haven't really advertised the channel a whole lot or done anything to promote it, other than to try to speak things that I think people would like to be here and to be informed about, things that I think definitely affect your lives, affects the lives of the community, and most importantly, our relationship with God, or unfortunately the lack of a relationship that we have in our communities with God. So God bless you. Hit the like button if you like it. share this video with somebody who you think might need to hear it. And we'll definitely keep you in mind. I think I'm going to do a giveaway, maybe for the 150th subscriber. We'll do a giveaway. And I'll talk more about that in the next message. But anyway, thank you for listening. Leave some comments. I love to get the comments from people, because that lets me know that people are indeed listening, and that, you know, I'm not being blocked by any kind of algorithm or something, because some of the videos that I put out, I think, kind of fall way down on the algorithm because of the content of some of the things that I'm saying. But, you know, that's the way it is, and we have to deal with that, and we have to go forth. So God bless you. Hope everybody's doing well. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.